Hi, Krishan.
चलो तिलक जमाते हैं बेटा, दिवाली आ गई है। चल
Ganwar sir, good morning. How are you?
Ganwar sir, good morning. You able to hear us?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Prasant.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good morning, sir. Long time.
Good morning.
Great. So, sir, if with your permission, can we start the program or we'll wait for some more time?
Your time is, if it is time is there, then you can start. Should I on my video?
Yes, sir, please. Yeah, thank you. Prashant, over to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all of you and your families are keeping safe and healthy during this time. My name is Prashant Javanjal from ACCA, and I'll be moderating the show today. At the outset, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Gangwar, Principal, DPS Bokaro, for hosting today's webinar. Thank you very much, sir. Let me acknowledge that the DPS Bokaro audience has been amazing. We have had overwhelming response to this event, and I'm thankful to each one of you for taking time out to attend this event. I will begin with the idea of this event. What is the purpose of this event? All of you are aware that there is so much gloom around the world now. We want to build some positive vibes in this situation. We want to talk about making best of the situation. We want to discuss about how new opportunities that can be availed during this time. There's so much innovation happening around. We just need to see that happening around us. For example, I was reading in Thailand, a mall is experimenting with elevators that have foot controls. Instead of selecting a button to indicate your destination, you use your foot on a pedal. Amazing. The other day I saw a clip where a Pani Puri wala has created a machine which can serve Pani Puri untouched by hand. That is good news. We have companies using drones to supply essentials and books to non-safe zones. Businesses, professors see long-term growth possibilities in post-pandemic landscape. So what I mean to say is the outlook seems to be very, very positive. It seems to be changing. People, organizations, businesses, governments are finding their way through this current challenge. And for this, the entrepreneurial vision will be very crucial for whatever comes next. Businesses must be imaginative, bold, and forward-looking as it moves into a post-pandemic world. Today, we'll be interacting with such industry leaders and have their insights on career and study opportunities that can be availed by you in this pandemic time. We are going to have eminent panelists joining us today on the show. And remember, they're as excited as you are to take your questions and share their valuable insights. I would request all the participants to please type their questions in the Q&A chat box. We will try to pick as many questions as possible to be presented before the panelists and answered by them. Please also type in your name along with your question. Before we begin with our first panelist, we would like our audience to know that you'll be awarded a certificate of participation. To get this certificate, you need to fill in the feedback form. There will be a link to which will be displayed during this program. Stay tuned and look forward for an exciting 1.5 hours. So we have our privilege to invite our first panelist, Mr. A.S. Gangwar, Principal, DPS Bokaro, joining us today. He's an eminent educationist with over 3 decades of experience in the field of education. Mr. Gangwar is presently the principal of DPS Bokaro, who has bagged several awards, including Progressive Principles of India, being conferred as an acknowledgement for the progressive and innovative ideas. Under his eminent leadership, DPS Bokaro is ranked as one of the best educational institutes in Asia for its significant role in changing lives through education, and also ranked Jharkhand's #1 day school by Education World and awarded the Future 50 Schools of the country shaping success. That is really amazing. It is a great privilege, sir, to have you with us here today. At the outset, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude for giving us permission to have this show, and I'm especially indebted to you for agreeing to be part of this show. Welcome to the show once again, sir.
Thank you.
So we'll start with one very important question that we understand the schools are undergoing a tough time. Teachers are trying to cope with new technology, online teaching, adapting to the new way of operations. But how has this situation affected students? How are they coping with no schools and online classes?
Well, thank you, Mr. Prasant. And the question is very relevant in present situation. No doubt, it is a tough time for all of us, including the student. For children, where interaction with classmates and teachers is of utmost importance. This period is difficult. The course content does reach to them, but that is just completion of the curriculum, only a part of holistic education. We have made earnest efforts to provide them with platform to express themselves through art. They are also pursuing their hobbies, but surely a lot more could be done if we had physical classes. So we are betting from the government side that when they are allowing us to open the classes, especially for 10th and 12th.
Yeah, yeah. I do understand, and it's been tough time, but really hats off to the system that has been created in a very short span of time. And there's a lot of adaptation and a lot of innovation going around, and just to ensure that the students are supported in these tough times. So thank you for insights, sir. As we move ahead.
Prashant, sorry to interrupt. Ganwar sir, your video is off. If you could switch it on.
Oh, no,
And,
video is.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Video is, it's showing it is on.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can't see you, sir, here. And for the students, I would request you to keep yourself on mute. Thank you, sir. Now we can see you.
Now
you.
we can
Over
see
to
you, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
So, sir, moving ahead, as we were discussing some other day that you were mentioning about how the trends have changed in the past few years with students now opting for commerce by choice. And I suppose this is being reflected in the board results as well. So soon, as on date, what would you say is the biggest challenge that a commerce student has?
Well, yes, you are right that the demand has been increasing, and we have doubled the number of students opting for commerce than we used to have earlier years. With time, all are getting to know how lucrative are the career options in this field, be it being a chartered accountant, or business strategist, or economist. The increased demand has increased competition. Instead of a single examination, the students get admission to undergraduate courses on the basis of marks in the board examinations. This asks for being consistent and regular, adding to the challenge. Thus, interested and regular students do wonders in the field. So I always advise to my student that there should be continuity and the regularity in their studies.
Absolutely, sir. And I believe it's been a dynamic shift from the days where medical and engineering programs were on the top, but we see commerce students really flourishing well and being a very core part of the across industries, if I wish to say. Thank you, sir, for sharing that insight. I would also like to ask you that there's so much innovation happening around new business ideas, new products, new services, markets being driven by ideas and businesses which we have never imagined. And all these businesses innovations are not happening from commerce students. Do you think we should have basic business and finance sensitization curriculum introduced at the school level compulsorily for all the students? What's your views on this, sir?
Yes, it is very heartening to see new business ideas and new services. And I feel we will all agree that expertise in business, finance, and commerce is really necessary to make an innovative idea turn into a sustainable business model. Here, the role of commerce students becomes very important. Every year, the commerce students of our school organize and manage school fairs. Here, they get first-hand experience of finance and management, and I feel it contributes a lot to their learning. So yes, steps towards inculcating these qualities from the school level itself are surely welcome.
Sure. And I think that's a good point, sir, you made that if the bent is toward the practical aspects of what we learn, definitely students reap major benefits out of whatever education they take. So moving ahead, we've seen that many a time the career choices are driven by external forces. That especially happens in India, either by family members from a particular industry or by the whims what a student should choose. Would you say we should have orientations and sensitization sessions for the students such that they can make informed choice about their future careers?
Yeah, this is very relevant question and present situation because we are here in the steel cities, and parents and students in steel cities are mostly seen to be heavily inclined towards engineer or the medicines. These are the only two options. They don't go for other options which are available nowadays. This is surely because of lack of information. Few know that an in-demand content writers make more working at their own pace than an average worker in so-called safe jobs. Business analysts makes extremely important decisions for their firm and are some of the highly paid jobs in the market. It often happens that students explore these options after going into colleges with a completely different curriculum. Informing students and parents is very important to help them make wiser decisions. Our school organizes such events for the parents regularly, and more such attempts are surely welcome.
Yeah, yeah, I agree to those points, sir, and I believe the school has a very important role to play during this juncture where the students and the parent decide on the career in the future the
Yeah,
students can
definitely. But
follow.
actually, what happens nowadays, the parents, they don't ask what child is expecting. But the child is having so many expertise in different fields. But parents,
Yeah,
they are imposing that my child should go in the engineering or the medicine. No other choices are left.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think we should shift from that mindset to a situation where you have information around and you have your choices, your interest in the field, and then once everything match, you should choose a
Yeah.
career. I really agree to that. Yeah. So, moving ahead, wanted to again ask you that though we have a very robust curriculum, using the latest techniques in teaching, innovating labs, the industry complains, and that's been a scenario from so many years now, that they find huge skill gap in the candidates who apply for the jobs. So do you think we can work on reducing the skill gap at the school level, and how we can do that?
In my opinion, the learning should be made less rote and more hands-on. Emphasis should shift to learning new skills. Students should do things on their own, create works of their own, not just in science but languages too. We believe this can be done, and we have been taking steps at our school as well. And I know that now new education policy is introduced. So with this new education policy, we will see more emphasis on unskilling and vocational training. That is upskilling and vocational trainings. And I would admit, yeah, that yes, there is a huge scope of improvement in this area. A hands-on practice curriculum can help a child to prepare himself to face the real world and build a sense of creativity and critical thinking, which in turn will help him to think out of the box. We must also incorporate life skills and parallel curriculum come thematic learnings. These are the some innovative ideas which we should do in coming years, because we have to update ourselves with the new education policies.
Sure, sure, sir. I think these are all valuable insights, and we are on a verge where the entire education framework within the country is about to change. And whatever points you suggested really goes in line with the idea the NEPs is going to change the education dynamics within the country. So really appreciate, sir, all your insights, and uh, we continue with our next panelist, and we'll come back to you in short span of time. But thank you so much for all the insights,
Okay,
and I'm sure it will be all.
thank you, Prashant.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your valuable time. So on this note, and some really valuable insights from Gangwar sir, I invite our second panelist, Mr. Krishan Mishra, who is head of North and East for ACCA India. Welcome, Krishan, to the show.
Thank you, Prashant, and thank you, Gangwar sir, for your valuable inputs. I look forward to taking it ahead from here. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, Krishan, let me begin with a very popular question. I believe the students would also like to ask this, that we have all the commerce students, majority of them are commerce students here. So would you say the future of commerce students look bright under the current circumstances?
So interestingly, Prashant, and it's a very, very relevant question. I would say that the commerce career would be relevant in the current times or not. In fact, commerce career has been relevant in the past also, and it will remain relevant 100 years down the line too, because commerce is something which is evergreen, right? When we look at careers and opportunities in the field of finance and accountancy, what we say is that these are the fields which are pervasive in nature, which means that all the industries, all the organizations, they need an accountant or a finance professional for their organizations. In fact, the importance of an accountant and finance professional in the pandemic times has gone up. There are a lot of new job descriptions which are being created for people. People can actually be in one location, like for example, they can be in Bokaro and actually run an organization which is in US. I've got a friend of mine who is in Delhi, and currently he is managing the US operations for a very large multinational corporation there, right? Although he's based in Delhi. So that's the way in which things are transforming. More opportunities are getting created, more career options are there. So I'm sure pandemic is actually going to throw a lot of new and bright avenues for people at large in the field of commerce and business.
Absolutely, I agree to that. And these are the set of students who are relevant in across industries. They were relevant before as well, but this time really is throwing a lot of opportunities for them, and businesses are changing the way they are. And I believe it's all exciting time for these students. So
Right,
thanks for that insight. And moving ahead, can you also help our audience understand what is ACCA? Is it a qualification or an organization?
Very, very interesting question, Prashant. And both of us know that, yes, it's an organization which gives qualification, and both are ACCA only. We are Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, based out of London, UK. Approximately around 116 years young organization, working across 183 markets globally, with a set of around 5,27,000 students and 2,19,000 people who are members of this qualification, and they are working across all these countries which I mentioned. We, as an organization, are actually giving the qualification to people who are looking forward to an application-oriented learning, and they would like to apply whatever they have learned in their classrooms and become a professional accountant for the development of the society as a whole. We came to India approximately, I would say, 5 years back, and in 5 years we have seen a tremendous growth here. India happens to be a very, very ambitious market, and in the similar way, we are also ambitious and innovative and creative as the Indian students are, and we will ensure that, yes, the qualification remains as relevant as it is today, tomorrow, and beyond for their future. So that's what ACCA does. We also work with 7,291 plus employers to provide the right set of employment opportunities to people who have pursued the qualification.
Yeah. Great. And just a clue for all the audience, and I would expect that you pick on very important words, what Krishan was mentioning, whether it is the relevancy of any qualification you do, then the difference between a professional graduation and also the scope of being global in nature, and whatever you study, if that is able to help you to apply it in a practical scenario, that really helps. Right. So, Krishan, is the recognition of ACCA qualification across the world, and how does it work?
Right. So interestingly, Prashant, I will quote one example here that a doctor is a doctor anywhere in the world. An engineer is an engineer anywhere in the world. When we look at accountants, they are always known as local accountants. They're never called a globe accountant. The good thing with ACCA is that a ACCA is a ACCA everywhere in the world, right? So wherever you go, they'll be named as ACCA only, whether they have done this qualification from, say, Bokaro, or from Jamshedpur, or Calcutta, or Bangalore, or Delhi, or maybe Sydney, Johannesburg, San Francisco, right? So wherever they are known as ACCA only. And the qualification is very much relevant and is recognized across various markets. In fact, we have got 80 MOUs wherein people can actually go ahead and work and practice in those 80 countries. Just to quote some examples, if you go to Middle East, obviously the UAE CA in Middle East recognizes the ACCA qualification. You have to apply for the license there, and you will be able to write UAE CA immediately after completing your ACCA. In the similar way, if you go to Singapore, write one exam, become the CA of Singapore. Go to Australia, write 2 examinations there, become CA of Australia, New Zealand. If you go to Canada, write 1 examination there, become the CPA of Canada. So like this, there's so many countries for which the students can very well go ahead and get that recognition. In fact, they can stay here and practice for the other countries also. I've got so many examples, and we both of us know that, right? So when people are still staying in Chennai or say in Jaipur, and they're practicing for organizations which are in Europe. So that is something which is very much possible, and that clearly indicates the kind of recognition which is being provided to our qualification globally by the industry.
Absolutely, and I think whatever you do, if your education and qualification is having a global recognition, that makes your life easy, whether you want to work in India or you want to work in any other country across the globe. So it solves your purpose. So I think that's a brilliant proposition. And Krishan, if you want to ask you the kind of presence ACCA has in India.
Right. So India, as I mentioned, we started 5 years back, and 5 years we have got more than 97 plus universities and more than 100 plus employers who are working with us. We have got an office in Delhi, in Calcutta, in Bangalore, Chennai, as well as Mumbai and Hyderabad. And the teams are present in all these locations to support our students and members and affiliates, as well as we have got a set of around 50 plus learning providers who are supporting the students in their journey towards the qualification.
Great. So in a nutshell, the entire support for any student who want to pursue this qualification is present across the country, whichever city, town you belong to, you will be supported by ACCA. So Krishan, we have our 11th and 12th class students with us. So if you want to be a bit specific now, how is ACCA relevant to them? If you could just explain that in detail, that would really help the audience.
Right. Thank you, Prashant. Again, a very, very relevant question. Because if you look at any professional qualification in this world, the same can be pursued post your 12th only. You can't do it before your 12th, right? In case you want to get into any other course, you can get into a vocational course, not a professional one. Whether it is medical, engineering, chartered accountancy, or say fashion designing, or name the course, right? And or the career which you're looking forward to, you can do it after 12th or maybe after your graduation only. What we did is that when we came to India, we saw that there is a lot of similarity between what is there in the first leg of our qualification and what the students study in class 11th and 12th. Just for the example, the financial accounting paper, which talks about journal ledger, trial balance, P&L account, balance sheet, and statement of changes in equity in the school syllabus in class 11th, is similar to the financial accounting paper, which is there in ACCA. Because financial accounting is financial accounting across the world. So it remains the same. If you look at the business studies paper, which is being taught to the students in class 11th, wherein they study planning, organizing, directing, controlling, budgeting type of companies, right? And they talk about the business environment, etc. The same thing is there in our paper called Business and Technology. In fact, they will get additional inputs on how the artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science work, and how they can use it as a tool to manage their businesses for the future. Right. When they get into class 12th, they're going to study FA2, which is Financial Accounting 2. In this paper, they will study cash flow statement, ratio analysis, fund flow statement, and other ways in which they can manage the money, capital budgeting. All those things are part of the management accounting paper, which has been taught in ACCA also. So once they do these 3 papers, which are there in the school itself, so what they have to do is that whatever they have learned in the classroom, if they read it well from their teachers, and then apply that knowledge when they go back to their homes, right? They will be prepared for the SCCA examination. What they have to do is that once they complete their class 11th examination, in the period of May and June during their holidays, they can write the first 2 exams. And for the third paper, they can do it post their 12th board examination and get a diploma in accounting and business from ACCA, which is equivalent to first year of graduation as per of call or official qualification of European Union. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds exciting, and I hope the audience would also agree to this. So it's a good proposition. You're doing something, and just doing a little bit extra, you earn 2 qualifications at the same time. And I think it's a brilliant proposition that any professional qualification, if that can be introduced at a level when the students are in 11th and 12th, that also gives them a lot of time and scope to plan and prepare. And in the long run, they really save so many precious years, and their experience and profile really has a lot of acceleration when they move in the various industries. So I think that makes a lot of sense. So, but Krishan, let's say things are all right, and we have a good proposition for the students, but still we know there's a lot of pressure in the 11th and 12th class studies. So when Summit undertakes another qualification, do you feel it's a good call overall?
Again, a very, very interesting question, Prashant. I remember I was a science student and I used to prepare for my entrance examination while in class 11th and 12th. In fact, I started preparing for it from class 9th only. When we look at the commerce students, normally they do not have that kind of pressure when it comes to the entrance examinations, etc. However, when we look at the ACCA qualification and the CBSE curriculum and the kind of similarities both of them are proposing to each other, right? Sorry, if you could put yourself on mute, everyone. Yeah. Okay. So the kind of similarities, Prashant, both the curriculums are proposing in front of each other. As I mentioned that in case they are able to study well from their teachers, in fact, we are going to train their teachers in helping them to prepare for the professional examination. And they would be able to write both the examinations well. In fact, their concepts would be much more clearer. Their foundation would be stronger. It will help them not only to write the ACCA exam, but to prepare well for their boards and score better marks in their board examinations too. So no pressure at all. It's just that you have to learn and apply the knowledge. And if you're able to apply it, nobody can stop you from going further.
Absolutely. And I think when you learn something from the angle of application, that knowledge and those skills are permanent in nature. You did not remember that anymore. And that's brilliant. Because, yeah. So you did share some of the similarities with the 11th, 12th curriculum and the ACCA curriculum. But specifically, if you could just touch upon the FIA curriculum, what you were talking about, what does it overall include?
So as I mentioned, when I was talking about financial accounting, the business and technology and management accounting papers, I mentioned about the topics also. Let me just reiterate. From journal, ledger, trial balance to P&L account to balance sheet, and then further statement of changes in equity. That is there in our curriculum also. When we look at the business studies or the business and technology paper, from planning, organizing, directing, controlling, budgeting to business environment, to the artificial intelligence, machine learning and data sciences and type of companies, etc., is there in our curriculum. And then obviously the management accounting paper is similar to the financial accounting 2 paper, which will be taught in class 12th. So there, what happens is the students will study cash flow, fund flow statements, the financial management related aspects, ratios, and capital budgeting, etc., which completely covers the entire gamut of the qualification. This, what happens is because they are preparing for one examination and able to apply the learning for the other, as you had rightly mentioned, the concepts would be much more clearer, right? They need not do the rote learning. They will have the practical understanding of the topics, and they will score much better, and they will become more work-ready professionals for the future also, while they are studying in the school itself. In fact, Prashant, just wanted to share that because of the skill gap, only 2.69% people who complete their commerce graduation are employable. The rest of the 97% people, they are not at all employable because they lack the right skills which are required. Right. In fact, you are, as we say that the balance sheets and P&L accounts are not prepared through pen and paper anymore. These are being prepared by the robots or the softwares, right? And they are very interesting people. They can work 24/7. They don't ask for any kind of tea breaks, coffee breaks, lunch breaks, right? Or leaves, or they don't ask for promotions or salary hikes, but they deliver the results as you require. But they can't take the decisions which are required for the management to take. And that's why people like us, who are the professional accountants and business managers, are required with the organization to take those decisions. We can take those decisions only when our foundation is strong. So it is a good idea for the students to start and make their foundation stronger at this age only, so that they're able to become work ready for tomorrow.
Absolutely, very nicely said, Christian. And I think that's a clue for the audience, because at this age, we can now definitely say that if they have some skills with them which help them for having a better judgment, making decisions in a life scenario, that really helps. And that's the basics of education. Any qualification you do, you should always remember that you need to apply that. And if you're applying that in a better manner, the more valuable you become wherever you are. Fine. Christian, thanks for that, those insights. And as we move, just thinking on the audience part, they would say, okay, 11th and 12th, okay, we will have the FIA done along with our studies. No problems, in the subjects are similar, we can manage that. But when we move out, when the students move out, and they're looking for some freedom area and also some good colleges and universities across the country. So does this program in any manner help, or does the ACC infrastructure within the country help these students?
Right, Prashant. Again, a very relevant question in considering the current situation. The biggest worry for, although we have the children's here, I would say that the biggest worry for their parents would not be that whether they'll score 90% or not, because I know the quality of the DPS Bokaro students. All of them are going to score more than 90% only, right? So their challenge is that whether they'll get admission into a good college or not. Right. And the good thing with ACCA is that we work with, as I had mentioned, we work with 97 plus universities, and we work with the likes of Christ University in Bangalore, which is one of the top commerce university in the country. In fact, they have got a campus in Ghaziabad also now, so Christ Ghaziabad is there. We work with Symbiosis in Pune. We work with Narsee Monjee Institute of Management Studies. We work with Loyolas in Hyderabad and Chennai, Manipal in Manipal, and Manipal in Jaipur. OP Jindal Global University, which is one of the finest private sector universities, in fact, the #1 private sector university in the country, offering the BCom in banking and finance with ACCA. So in fact, most of these universities are offering the ACCA curriculum in their curriculum, which is an integrated or accredited curriculum. Here what happens is they obviously conduct their own test and interview for the candidates before taking the admission. When they're looking at the admission of the candidates, Prashant, what happens is, for example, you have scored 90%, I have scored, say, 88%, right? And say Christ is taking the interview. During the interview, if they see that I have got a diploma in accounting and business and you don't have, maybe I'll be preferred over you, right? I'm just saying that there is no reservation as such, but there can be a preference which can be given to these students for admission in the best of the colleges. And then obviously, then sky is the limit. Once you get into the best of the institutions, they ensure that you're provided the right inputs and support for you to complete the entire ACCA journey. We are there to handhold the students, because once we hold the hands of the students, they become alumni for life, and we don't leave them in between. We are always there to actually, we will keep on bothering them throughout their career and throughout their lives, because they become a part of our membership community for the future, right? So they need not worry about that. A lot of support from the ACCA infra for their career and the long term. Yeah.
That sounds great, Christian. And if somebody is assured that once I do something and my plans for the graduation and post-graduation, ACCA can play a big role in that. That's really advantageous. And I just want to share with the audience that I sit on the panel of Christ University, where the students apply for the ACCA program. We have an integrated program there. And for 150 seats, we have received more than 5,000 plus applications. And as Christian was mentioning, that while they have the written test, the interview and the essay writing, but the important factor is during the selection process, they find somebody has already done the FIA program, there's definitely a preferential treatment to that candidate, because they know that somebody is already inclined to do this qualification. And the motive behind of any good university doing this integration is to offer the a global qualification to the students in the campus. And once they see a student has done FIA, that philosophy is in lines, and they really prefer these kind of candidates coming to the campus. Brilliant. So, Krishan, this is, let's say, for the Indian universities or top-notch institutions and colleges. But how about if somebody is planning to study abroad? Will the FIA qualification help those students?
Right, Prashant. Again, a relevant question in case people are looking at a global qualification or a movement out of India. If we look at the entire Europe, and especially in UK itself, we have more than 400 universities wherein ACCA qualification is very much recognized. There are various other universities in the entire Europe. You look at UAE, or maybe the markets like Singapore, as well as the rest of Asia Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, etc. Majority of the universities are offering the ACCA qualification there. And in fact, the ACCA qualification, when you break it down, we've got 3 levels: applied skills, applied knowledge, applied skills, and the strategic professional level. One point here, students, please do not write anything on the screen. Please avoid doing that, and keep yourself on mute. That's important. You are from a very prestigious school. Do not get into anything which is not right for you at this level. Hope that's clear to all of you. Now, if you look at the other international opportunities there, the entire ACCA qualification is divided into 3 parts, as I mentioned. The diploma in accounting and business is equivalent to level 4 of official qualification of European Union, which means that it is equivalent to the first year of graduation. The entire ACCA qualification is equivalent to graduation, and the 9 papers of the ACCA qualification is equivalent to graduation, and full ACCA qualification is equivalent to post-graduation in Europe. So obviously, you will get the right entry opportunities in all those locations. In fact, when you do the first 3 papers, you get a diploma. When you do the 9 papers, you get an advanced diploma and a BSc Honours in Applied Accounting from Oxford Brookes University. And when you complete the entire qualification, you have an opportunity by writing 2 papers. You can take a MSc in Professional Accountancy from University of London. In fact, there are more than 90 plus universities in London who are offering the MSc in Professional Accountancy in case you wish to do that. In London, by writing only 1 or 2 examinations, you'll be able to get those degrees.
Great. So a lot of prospects, not only if somebody is planning to study in India, but abroad as well, and so many universities recognizing the ACCA qualification. And if you do different stages of ACCA qualification, you are directly entitled for their graduation and post-graduation program. So I think that's a brilliant proposition. So you did mention, Krishan, but just for the benefit of audience, would like to again ask that whether you pursue ACCA in India or from any other country, there's absolutely, it's the same. There's no problem in that.
That's right, Prashant. ACCA is ACCA anywhere in the world. And in fact, when we look at the relevance of our qualification, when we say that it is globally relevant, it means that the entire pedagogy, which means that is the way in which the program is taught, remains the same across the world. The course curriculum remains the same across the world. In fact, the examination date and time also remains the same across the world. And the certification which is being provided to the students remains the same across the world, which means that a student from Bokaro or from Delhi or from Sydney or from, say, London are getting the same qualification, the same rigor, same teaching methods, and the same curriculum. Right. So there is no difference at all. ACCA is ACCA across the world.
Sure. And I believe if you are able to do this, the foreign graduation and post-graduation programs right here in India, you also save a lot of costs because the fees there, if you go physically and do the program, is really high. Then you add on to the cost of living there and other expenses. So I believe if the same can be achieved right here when you are in India, I think that really adds a lot of value, and you don't miss on any plans of doing international degrees if you have any.
Sure.
Great.
And Prashant, just one point here, that the BSc Honours in Applied Accounting, which the student will get in India from Oxford Brookes, remains the same. There is no difference between the degree which is taken by the students in UK, because the ACCA qualification credits are automatically transferred to the BSc Honours. In fact, the students will have an opportunity to go and attend the convocation ceremony, which happens in Dubai, Singapore, and London, in case they wish to do so. Right? Obviously, that can happen post the pandemic is over. But before the pandemic, students used to go and collect their degrees from these locations. After the
Yeah.
pandemic, also they will be able to do that.
So brilliant, Krishnan. I'm just imagining a situation, somebody, let's say, doing a graduation in Jharkhand, doing the ACCA qualification, completes a 9 paper, opts for the BSc from Oxford Brookes, and he gets the BSc from in applied accounting there, and he can go and attend the convocation, same as the on-campus student. So I think that's a brilliant proposition and makes a lot of sense. Okay. So, Krishan, moving ahead, if students wish to ask that, what kind of support they will get if they want to prepare for this FIA, they found it's all good, but then if they want to prepare, so what's the support, overall support from ACCA side?
Right. So again, a very, very important question, Prashant. And normally from our side, what we do is that we conduct the train the trainers, the capacity building of the teachers. We have been doing that consistently on a regular basis. We'll do the same for the teachers of DPS Bokaro also. We'll prepare them because they know the subjects well. But what we'll prepare them to do is that we will prepare them to teach the professional papers in the better way, right? And make the application orientation better for the students. We will also provide a lot of study resources, mock tests, and other tuition-related opportunities through our learning providers, which will be done on a regular basis for all our students. This is not only for the first 3 papers, this will remain the same for all the 13 papers, right? And we will provide that regular support to the students throughout their journey as a student, and then obviously the rest of the support for employability, etc., once they complete the entire qualification.
Great. And do we have some sort of an entrance test for FI if the student wish to register or start the journey?
Yes, so we would like the students to go through a test called International Accountancy Proficiency Test, which will be conducted for all the students of DPS Bokaro. Normally, for this test, we charge a fee of around 1,000 rupees, which will be waived for all the students here, because we consider DPS Bokaro as one of our prestigious relationships. And we had spoken to Mr. Gangwar also, and we will ensure that we support all the students. So the test would be free of charge. We would like them to pass this test and get a scholarship from us and pursue this qualification. The important thing is that you have to score at least 50% marks to get admitted into the FI qualification. If you don't score 50%, I'm sorry, we'll not be able to admit you to the program.
Okay, so there's a test. Generally there's a fees, but we're waiving it off for our DPS Bokaro students. That's brilliant. And if the student scores more than 50% marks in that, they also stand a chance to win scholarships, which will help them do the FIA at some reduced cost. So that's I think it's a brilliant move. And Krishan, let's say students are doing this program, and obviously there will be some assessments. So how would the assessments happen?
Right. So there'll be some internal assessments which the school will be supporting them. We'll conduct those mock tests, etc. Right. And we'll keep on giving the scores to the students. And then obviously they will be writing our examination, which is an on-demand computer-based examination. Right. So when I say on-demand, which means that the student has to decide the date and let us know at least 72 hours in advance so that we can plan the exam. The examination is such that they will be sitting on the computer and completing all the questions in the exam. And once they complete and click the submit button, they will also get their results on the spot. Right. So that's the way in which we conduct these examinations. So results are on the spot for all the first 4 papers, I would say, from financial accounting to business and technology to management accounting and corporate and business law, which is the 4th paper. And all these papers are on demand. These examinations can be taken by the students from the comfort of their homes right now during pandemic. If in case students who are in class 12th, they would like to write this examination because they have already studied the first 2 papers. So we'll give them the right inputs to prepare for the same and write these examinations immediately after their board exams, maybe in the period of April and May. They'll be able to write this and get those 2 exams cleared. The 3rd paper, management accounting, they are currently studying, so they can plan for it in the month of, say, June, July, and complete it before taking admission into the best of the universities.
Sure. So I think that's a great support if students have flexibility for booking the exams and also they get immediate results. So that makes a lot of sense for them. So they're in a better position to plan the entire course structure. One question just coming in my mind that maybe some of the students might also be thinking that can somebody pursue ACCA only without enrolling for a formal graduation in India?
Right. Again, a very relevant question, Prashant. A lot of students ask this. In the current scenario, the industry is recognizing the foreign degrees, right? But when it comes to pursuing further studies and getting, say, a PhD in case you want to become a teacher, right? Or maybe you want to get into the government service, it would be always advisable to get an Indian degree also. So I would suggest that there is no harm in getting another degree alongside the ACCA qualification. Obviously, the new education policy is talking about recognition of the foreign qualifications and the credits, which will happen very soon. Once that happens, definitely there might be a situation wherein students need not take a local degree. But then also, my suggestion would be to keep as many, I would say, arms and ammunitions with you as possible, because those are going to help you in your careers. Because when we look at the current situation, the market and the industry, the corporate is like a warfare, right? So there is a corporate warfare. We need to have more certifications to actually help us to prepare and win that war for the future.
Absolutely. I like that word, having a lot of ammunition with us before we enter into the job market, or for that matter, even if you want to do your own business. So all these skill sets and certifications really help. Krishan, you did touch upon a lot of skills that ACC is providing, the skill gap that is existing in the industry. Would like because that's a very important topic. So just want more insights into that, and your views on how ACC is able to close this skill gap that exists in the industry.
Right. So Prashant, the entire ACCA qualification talks about various skill sets which the student can actually acquire while going through the qualification. In fact, they become very much job ready. There won't be any gap because obviously they are applying whatever they have learned in the classroom. Right. There's no theory which they're going through. They're actually trying to get that practical understanding on the topics which they're studying. The students will be able to sharpen their skills on various aspects. Like, for example, they'll be able to develop a vision for them, which is really very important for any individual, right? They'll be able to hone the digital skills because we are talking about digital in our papers like business and technology, strategic business leader, etc. In fact, all the examinations are computer based, right? So their digital skills will be much better, which is the requirement for the employer. They will have definitely the technical and ethical skill, which is a given. That is something which is always there with them. They'll be able to sharpen their creative and intelligence related skills, right? And they will be able to get the emotional skills also, because they'll be working in teams, talking to each other, sharing, collaborating. So all those things would be there for their careers. In fact, there is a very good opportunity for students who complete their first 9 papers and then look forward to the employment. Prashant, as you know that we have got employers like KPMG, Ernst & Young, PwC, etc., who are hiring people immediately after their 9 papers. In fact, they're ready to sponsor the rest of the 4 papers for them, and they're also ready to give them leaves for preparing for those exams, right? So they will have the practical understanding while working, as well as they'll be able to write the ACC examination during that time. So all the skill sets which are required, considering the current situation not only in our country, across the world, would be given to the students throughout his journey as a student, as well as once he becomes an affiliated member.
Absolutely, I totally agree to that, Krishan. And I think the students should understand at this age that the technical skills are just a part of the overall show. And I request students to be on mute, please. Yeah, thank you so much. So I was mentioning that technical skills are just one part of your overall personality, and there are so many things the employers are looking forward, whether it's on the emotional side, on the digital side, on your life skills. So I think a qualification like ACCA brings all those skill set into the working forum, and all these papers, when you attempt, you will realize that all these skills are tested and you really develop along the journey. Really good. So Krishan, you did mention about some employers, their strategies. How do they encourage people to do qualification like ACCA? So on a general note, if I want to just ask you on the current set of employment opportunities that exist specifically in India, so what are your thoughts on that?
Right. Prashant, again, important question, because you would not like to pursue a qualification wherein there are no opportunities. The good thing with us is that the opportunities are more, employment opportunities are more, and they're growing very fast. And people to apply to those opportunities are less, right? So the demand for the qualification is high, and the supply of the right set of individuals is low right now. Talking about the opportunities, we have got opportunities in places like Gurgaon, Noida, Calcutta, Trivandrum, Cochin, Hyderabad, Bangalore, right? Mumbai, Ahmedabad, all these places. And a lot of opportunities are being created because most of the jobs which were there in places like Europe and Australia, New Zealand have been shifted to India now during the pandemic. Before the pandemic only it had started happening, but now it is happening more so because Indians are considered to be the best resources for such jobs. I can quote some examples that why Indians are preferred. As we know that we Indians, we are very innovative, we are ambitious, we are creative, we can work as per the requirements of the organization and support them in the way in which the organization wants. In fact, when we look at our communication skills, right, so we can speak fast with an American or English person, we can speak slowly with a Chinese or a Malaysian, right? So that's the advantage which is there with Indians right now. And that's why Indians are preferred for most of these jobs. In fact, people can look forward to starting here and then moving out of India and working across the world and the best of the organizations. So that's the kind of opportunity which is there right now. The good thing with ACCA is that we not only provide them with the right set of employment opportunities, but we also develop the ability. Because when we say employability, we have employment and we also have the ability part, which is lacking with the individuals. We create that ability during their journey towards the ACCA qualification so that they're able to pick up the right set of jobs which are available in the market.
Absolutely, Krishan. I really know for the fact that we are struggling with providing the talent pool to our employers, and they have been demanding so many ACCA students and affiliates and members from us throughout the year. And we really expect this set of students to quickly finish the ACCA qualification and get all those coveted jobs which are there across the country and otherwise as well. Yeah, I would urge all the students, they can definitely go through the ACCA careers portal and see on their own the kind of roles that exist, how many jobs come from various countries, including India. And you will be able to understand that if you're studying something which is professional in nature, which is accepted worldwide, then you really have a chance to make a good start in the professional life, and not only a good start, but then you accelerate very fast. So those are two important aspects: a good start and then the acceleration. So, very well said, Krishan. I would urge all the audience. I am started to seeing some questions being asked. I'll just take that before I ask one more question to Krishan. I would request all the audience to type in their questions on the chat so that we can answer them one by one. Krishan, during this journey, when a student, let's say, take the qualification, at the end they become a member, and what do you see the overall advantages an ACCA member has on a global platform? Where does a ACCA member stand?
So let me start with the students only, Prashant, that what I feel is that the students also have an opportunity to become a part of that global talent pool, which is there with ACCA. They would not only be interacting with their peers in their classes in DPS Bokaro, but they'll be able to interact with students who are in London, in US, in Australia, New Zealand, and the other parts of the world. They'll be able to talk to them, network with them, look forward to understanding and sharing about their knowledge and inputs. And they will also take their inputs for their own betterment for the future. The same thing goes for the affiliates and members, because we have a very large set of affiliate and members who are there in the market. They actually support each other when it comes to employment. Few of our members have reached up to the level of CFOs and CEOs in various organizations, right? And they always look forward to supporting the ACCA students and members in their future careers. The good thing with ACCA is that we not only support them for those employment opportunities, we also develop their skill sets on a regular basis. So when we say about learning, we say that sometimes you have to learn, sometimes you have to unlearn, sometimes you have to relearn. So we make them unlearn, and sometimes we also support them with relearning, and we come up with a lot of continuous professional development schemes for the students. They will for the members, they will get an opportunity to get those additional certificates for their own betterment so that they remain relevant in the market. And this happens throughout their career. In fact, talking about one situation where in 2008, the similar kind of situation was there in our country and the world when the financial transactions fiasco related to banking happened in US, and a lot of jobs were lost. We were there to support our members there, right? In fact, when people lost their jobs in USA, they came back to us and said that, can ACCA help us right now? We said, yes, we'll definitely do that. And we could support our members in getting the right set of opportunities. So we are always there to do that. In fact, as you have mentioned about the ACCA careers portal, if the students can go to the portal, which is known as jobs.accaglobal.com, and they can see that right now we will have 45,000 plus jobs, which are right now active on that portal. And those jobs are for all the students, affiliates, and members at all levels. Yeah. Prashant? Are you able to hear me, Prashant? Okay, I think Prashant is facing some difficulty in terms of network.
Yes, it's breaking in
Yes.
between, I think.
Yeah, maybe you can try switching off your video. That
You're
should
able
be
to
okay.
hear me?
I can hear you now, but you can
Krishnan,
switch
you're
off your
able to
video
hear
if you
me?
want. Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I
Prashant, you
just
can
do that. Yeah.
switch off your video. Yeah, that would be better.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Please go ahead, Krishnan.
Yeah, I'm done with that question. One point I
Okay,
wanted to tell
yeah.
the students that in case they start this qualification at an early age of I would say 15 and a half, 16 in school itself, by the time they complete 19 or 20, they can look forward to completing the entire qualification. And the average qualifying age for a professional accountant globally is 25, which means that you save 5 precious years of your life. In 5 years, you can actually look forward to a good career. You can move ahead in your career ladder and also look at retiring early in your lives because you are starting your career earlier than anyone else, right? So that's the biggest advantage of starting a professional course at a younger age in schools itself. Yeah, Prashant. Prashant, I'm not able to hear you. Okay, it seems that Prashant is facing some difficulty. Students, in case you have any questions or queries, please mention them on the chat box. I think Varij Khare has
Krishnan,
asked
able
this
to hear
question.
me?
Yes, Prashant, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just coming to the queries from our audience. I think some little bit of challenge with my internet, but anyways, we'll proceed. So I think Lisa Gupta is asking that is the fee structure variable according to the performance in test?
That's right. The scholarship is up to 25,000, and based on your performance, we will be giving the scholarships. Maximum up to 25,000 you'll be able to get in case you're able to perform better. So there'll be some differences. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we have from Varij Khare is asking that is it recognized by UGC?
Yes. So, Varij, I can tell you that the BCom and the BBA courses that we offer with the universities is definitely recognized by UGC. I had already mentioned that when it comes to the foreign degree, right? A foreign degree is normally directly not recognized right now in India, but industry definitely recognizes the foreign degrees here. And there are a lot of jobs, as I had mentioned. So what is important is for you to understand that the industry is recognizing, and that is something which is more important. Obviously, when we look at the foreign degrees recognition in India by UGC, that should happen very soon because that's part of the new education policy and it has already been launched in India. We're just waiting for the final instructions to come from the Ministry of Education.
Okay, fine. So just in the interest of the students' question, maybe there might be some set of students who want to plan their own business or they already have their family business. So how ACCA would help in this scheme, in this scenario where they have their own business?
Right. So Prashant, again, a very, very relevant question. When we look at starting an enterprise, right, what do we need? We need an idea, And do you think an idea is sufficient? No. You also need to have the right set of finance with you, right? You need to have the skill sets to manage those finances, to acquire the finance, right? And then obviously, once you have acquired, you should be able to manage your books, and you should be able to see that how this moves further, because you have to look at your P&L also for the future. The good thing for a professional accountant when it comes to starting an enterprise is that once you have gone through all the papers, right, we make you go through papers like financial accounting, management accounting, business and technology, corporate and business law, performance management, which is related to costing, financial reporting, audit, financial management, right, taxation, strategic business leader. Again, it prepares you to be a leader and run your own enterprise, as well as become a leader within the organization, strategic business reporting, and certain advanced level papers. If you look at the current scenario, there are a lot of CEOs who said that, oh, I was not aware of the financial happenings of my organization because it was being managed by the CFO, right? That will not happen with you. Nobody can take you for a ride in case you are a professional accountant yourself. You will know better than anyone else that how to manage your profits in the best possible way. Right, so that's the biggest advantage. Not only to start your own enterprise, in case your parents have got a family business, you will be able to support and take those family businesses to the next level.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, indeed, Christian. And I think wherever you are, the professional skill set that are attributed to the qualification really helps, and I really agree to that. On the students' behalf, if they wish to enroll for ACCA, so what are the first steps on that? And also, how much time the student would be required to devote every day if they wish to pursue ACCA?
So I think it is not about devoting some additional time. It is about managing your time in the right way, right, Prashant? And in fact, if they are able to learn from the teachers well, right, and go through the study resources, etc., on a regular basis, they will not face that difficulty. See, you're taking a lot of time in preparing for these three papers. The financial accounting paper and business and technology, which is related to your business studies paper, you are taking full 1 year in case you are in class 11th. In case you are in 12th, you've already studied that. So with some additional inputs from our side, I would say that we will provide you with some 30 hours of additional inputs, 30 to 40 hours, which will help you in preparing for these examinations. And then for the last paper, you are already studying it, right? So give your best in terms of whatever you study in the classroom. Go through the online modules which are being provided from our side, and whatever your teachers are teaching. We will give you all the study resources, go through them. And if you put in, say, I would say, in case you want to quantify the number of hours, then additional, I would say, 1 or 2 hours every day would be sufficient. See, it is not about remembering what is being taught to you. It is about understanding the concept and applying that concept with ACC, right? So it is not about preparing that P&L account, right, or balance sheet. It is more about understanding that, okay, in case my sales revenues are going up by, say, 5 times every year, since last 3 years, but my losses are also increasing 3 times every year, right? Then what are the reasons? You should know all those reasons, right? And that's more important rather than how to prepare the P&L account and balance sheet. Yes, Prashant.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Yes, absolutely. And I think it's not about the amount of time, but it's the quality time what we spend. So things can be better in whatever you prepare. Just moving on, a couple of questions from our participants. So Dikshant wants to know that is it good to do MBA after CA?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good question, Dikshant. And in fact, you can do an MBA before your ACCA also, right? And the good thing is that after completing 9 papers, there are a lot of business schools who are offering an opportunity to people to pursue an MBA in professional accountants. There's something which is new and it has started happening. In fact, with ACCA qualification, we have another MBA opportunity. Once you complete all your 13 papers, you can apply to Oxford Brookes University, write one examination there, and take an MBA from Oxford Brookes or maybe from University of Ireland in Dublin. So both these institutions are offering an MBA there, which is very much possible by just writing one examination, because you get the credits transferred for all your ACC papers to that qualification. Yes, Prashant.
Yeah, yeah, brilliant. So I think that really helps. One of the other questions is from Astha Gupta. She's asking that can I opt for a BCom plus ACCA course in Goenka University of Kolkata. Do we have an association with them?
So in Calcutta, there is no Goenka University. There is a GD Goenka College of Commerce, I can tell you. We already are tied up with GD Goenka University in Gurgaon, right, which is again from the Goenkas only, and they're offering a BCom course with the International Finance and Accountancy of ACCA. That's there. GD Goenka College of Commerce is an individual college that's affiliated to the University of Calcutta. So there you have to pursue the qualification parallelly. You will not be able to get into an integrated course. You can very well do this course parallelly along with your BCom. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thanks for that insights, Christian. One more question from Abhishek Goel, and he's asking a very important question. I think the best one so far. What are the packages of ACCA in India or in other countries as well?
Okay. Abhishek, very, very interesting question. See, I can tell you that don't look at the packages today because these packages are going to go up only by the time you qualify, right? And don't compare the packages which are being offered in India and what is being offered in, say, UK or US. Because in UK, if you look at the multiplier factor, right? So £1 is equivalent to 100 rupees or 90 rupees, Indian rupees, right? So, for example, you might be earning say £3,000 in UK, right, which is equivalent to 3 lakh rupees per month in India, right? But then your expenditure will also be the same. You might not be able to save a single penny there, right? Or maybe you are earning say 1 lakh rupees per month in India, and you are able to save more than that. So there are no comparisons from country to country because of the expenses which are associated in those countries. Talking about the Indian scenario, once you complete the first 9 papers, you can very well look forward to getting into the best of the organizations, including the big 4 like KPMG, PwC, EY, Grant Thornton, Microsoft, Infosys, ITC. The various organizations, HCL, etc., who are hiring people after their 9 papers, and they pay approximately between around, I would say, 4.5 to 5.5 lakhs for the freshers. And they also sponsor the rest of the qualification for them. And in case you want to do it post your entire completion of ACCA qualification, then the average CTC, which we checked last year, was around 8.14 lakhs. There were people who got higher salaries also, but that's the kind of package which is normally being offered. But I can tell you that don't look at these packages. Prashant will agree with me that in the last 3 years, we have seen that the salaries have gone up by 42% for the ACCA qualified professionals. Right, so
yes,
maybe by the next year you might see that it has gone further up. Yeah.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, one is the breakthrough you get by qualification like this, but the advantage you will reap later when your profile changes very fast and you move to the leadership ladder very fast because of the professional qualification like ACCA. Then the entire game changes. So you need to look at 2 aspects, one at the short term and one at the long term. And both the cases, you would be definitely on an advantageous side. Question from Lisa, that what's the legal backing of ACCA in India? Christian?
Okay. Legal backing. So we have a subsidiary set up in India, which is as per the approval from Ministry of Corporate Affairs and Registrar of Companies. So that's definitely there. We have a subsidiary setup, which is 100% subsidiary of ACCA Global in UK. In UK, we are being created through a royal charter. You might have heard about a term called Act of Parliament in India, right, which is being created through the Act of Parliament in India, wherein Parliament comes up with the acts. In the similar way, in UK, this is known as Royal Charter, which is given by the Queen of UK, right? So that's there with us, and we are not only, as mentioned, recognized for our work in the Indian industries, but also we are recognized across various other countries, wherein we have got the memorandum of understanding with most of those countries for our professionals to work.
Great. Okay, I hope, Lisa, that answers your question. Another question we have from Arundhati Deshmukh, and she's asking if someone is preparing for other competitive exams and also want to pursue ACCA, can both be done together?
Definitely, yes, Arundhati. Don't worry about any of those things. In fact, with your additional qualification like ACCA, you'll be able to perform better in most of the examinations also, because what is happening is you are making your foundation stronger, you're able to understand various concepts well, your understanding, a better understanding will help you in cracking the other entrance examinations too.
Great. Yeah. I think one very important question coming from Dikshant, which is better, CA or ACCA? I was wondering why it was not asked till now, but finally we have that. Yeah. Yes, question. Your
A good
insights.
one. A very good question, Prashant. And I think this should be the last one. But I think the last question, to sum it up, it talks about everything. So, Dikshant, as I was mentioning that a doctor is a doctor anywhere in the world, an engineer is an engineer anywhere in the world. But an accountant is always known as a local accountant. Why? Because every country has got a local body for professional accountancy, right? We have got Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. When you look at our neighbor, which is Pakistan, you have Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. Look at the other neighbor, Nepal, you have Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, right? Look at Canada, you have CPA in Canada. Look at Singapore, you have CA Singapore. Look at Australia, you have CA Australia, New Zealand. So like this, every country has got a local body for accountancy, right? Without comparing with anyone else, I can just tell you that you will never be called a local accountant. You'll always be known as a global one, right? Because with ACCA, you are looking at a global opportunity, a global career for yourself. But when I look at the other qualification that you have mentioned, which is CA, I would say that they are very good in their own sphere, and we are also doing well in our own sphere. So there is no competition or I would say comparison between both the organizations, right? So I don't compare, but I can tell you that why we are good. We are good because we can give you the global relevance. We can give you the global certification, global pedagogy, designation, which is globally relevant. We give you that flexibility. There are no, I would say, grouping system in ACCA. You prepare for one paper, prepare well, pass, move to the next paper, prepare well, pass. We conduct the examination 4 times a year. So you have an opportunity, March, June, September, and December. And then you have the opportunity to get a diploma, advanced diploma, a BSc honors in applied accounting, MSc in professional accountancy, and a career opportunity immediately after your 9 papers, right? And you can check for the rest about the other qualification. Google is very much open, and you can get all the information there. As I told you, why we are good, I can't tell you why the other one is bad. So I'm sorry for that. We don't talk about competition in that way. Hope that answers.
Yes, very much, Krishna. I think the points were all relevant, and Dikshant will be able to understand that. One quick question coming from Himanshu Kumar. How quickly can I complete the ACCA qualification?
Himanshu, choice is yours. I have seen somebody completing the entire qualification within 18 months. And he's in New Zealand working for EY. But he was a very, very brilliant chap, right? Very, very brilliant. Exceptionally brilliant. But not everybody can do that. On an average, if you prepare well and give one examination every quarter, you might complete the entire ACCA qualification within 39 months, which means 3 years and 3 months. That's the average period. In case, obviously, you are looking at the qualification post your 12th. In case you have completed all your first 3 papers during your school itself, right? Then what happens is, because 3 into 3, you subtract 9 months from there. So what is left? 30 months only, right? Which means that within 2.5 years, you will be able to complete the entire qualification because you are starting early and saving your time.
Yeah. And then, Krishna, if you see the overall proposition, so by the time somebody graduates, they're already an ACCA affiliate. So they have a graduation, right. They're an ACCA affiliate, they're ready to move into the industry, they get the 3-year work experience, and they become an ACCA member. So I think they would be much ahead of a crowd which is just doing a graduation or a post-graduation on the academic side. But by the virtue of having an additional qualification, a global qualification, that really adds a different flavor to the career of these students.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just see whether we have some more questions. I think one more from Lisa Gupta. She's saying, does Indian employer like ONGC, Tata Steel employ a person holding an ACCA qualification?
Tata Steel definitely does that. ONGC is more of a government organization, so I can't say that they will be recruiting. But I can tell you one thing, that Reserve Bank of India recently, when they were recruiting for grade B officers, they had mentioned ACCA as a qualification in the eligibility criteria. So which means that they are recruiting. And RBI is a government organization. Not all the government organizations are doing that right now. I'm sure with time changing, things will change further. But what is important for you to understand that there are a lot of opportunities in the multinational corporations and Indian corporates wherein they are hiring ACCA qualified professionals. The growth in terms of your career as well as in terms of your earnings can be much better in the industry, and opportunities are tremendous there. You can very well check it on Google, check on our jobs.accglobal.com, go to naukri.com or say iamjobs.com and type ACCA there and see how many jobs are there. You might not believe me directly. Just go to Naukri and type ACCA or IFRS and see that how many opportunities are available for the professionals.
Yeah, yeah. I think Rahul is asking how many papers are there in ACCA. So I think Krishan has shared that. Overall, there are 13 papers. And
Amisha, can you put yourself on mute?
Yeah, thank you. So overall, there are 13 papers. And as a first proposition, we expect in your 11th and 12th, you finish the first 3. So there are 3 different stages, and the overall you need to clear is 13 papers. And additional information, you can receive it from your school. We'll share all the details with them as well. I'm just checking in case we have some more queries. Yeah, definitely please provide your feedback on the link that is given. Also, there are details mentioned about the scholarship test. The advantages are already been shared to you. I think there's one last question, Krishan, if you don't mind, we can take from Dikshant. He's asking whether we can do the CA and ACCA together. And is there any basic qualification required for ACCA?
So there is no basic qualification required for ACCA. That's definitely there. As I mentioned, you can start post your 10th only in class 11th and 12th. You have to submit your 10th mark sheet, and basis that you'll be able to join the program. You can very well do both the things together, but choice is yours. Then there'll be a lot of pressure on your head. So you have to decide what you want in your life, right? And then once you complete one, then you can do the next one. That's my suggestion. Rest, you're free to exercise your thoughts in your mind and pick up both the qualifications also, in case you can take that pressure and the rigor which is required for both the qualifications. One thing I want to tell all of you is that no professional qualification in this world is easy. Dikshant, for you also, no professional qualification, I'm just reiterating, is in this world is easy because they are professional, right? So the easier courses can be your normal courses only, which is your graduation, post-graduation. Professional qualifications would be slightly tougher because the rigor would be higher. So to maintain that rigor and to pass the examinations and do better for your careers, you should look at one qualification at one point in time and then add more. There's no harm. Yeah. So that's my suggestion, personal suggestion. Rest would be your choice.
Yeah. And I agree, Krishan, to your point that more the rigor, more you're valuable wherever you go, whether it is employers or your own set of business. So definitely that adds lots of value. To the audience, I just want to request one more time that please fill in the feedback form, which is a link would be provided to you, and this feedback is important as we want to issue the certificate of participation to you. So I just conscious of the time. I think it's a brilliant discussion overall. I don't see any more questions, and I take this opportunity to thank all our participants, students, parents, teachers, and special thank to Gangwar sir for sharing his valuable time and sharing his insights with this lovely audience. Thank you, Krishan, for your time and all those very interesting insights. It was coming all from the heart, and I would say that it would really help all our future professionals. And please stay in touch with the school for any more information you may require. Our email ID is also mentioned there. You can write to us in case for further support. Do fill in the feedback form to get the certificate of participation. So I take this opportunity to thank everyone for being a wonderful audience, and all the best to all of you. We wish you all the success in the future. Thank you so much for your participation. Have a good day.
Thank you, Prashant. And I would like to tell everyone that Prashant heads the South region, and he agreed to come and talk to the students of DPS Bokaro on a Saturday. Thank you so much, Prashant, for taking out your time, and thank you so much once again. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Gangwar sir, and the entire team, and Manish, everybody. And look forward to talking to you again. Please do write the International Accountancy Proficiency Test. I would urge everybody to write, pass, and get the scholarship from us. Looking forward to seeing you as a ICCA student soon. Thank you, and have a good day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christian, for that note. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Manishi. Have a good day. Thank you.